What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, then welcome to my channel. My name is Jackson Desjardins, and I'm here to help you build your absolute super self, whether that's physically through losing weight, putting on some muscle, or that's mentally through getting rid of your limiting beliefs and opening up your mind to what is possible. I'm about being happy on this channel. I'm about making progress on yourself, and I'm about finding our happy grind here more than anything. Because I believe that you are capable of some amazing things, and I believe that you have something to offer the world that is greater than anyone else. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to stop comparing yourself to everyone, because I know I've struggled with it, I know many of you have struggled with it, and I know social media doesn't help for shit. I know we've all been there where we see a shredded guy on Instagram, or we see somebody who just bought a Lamborghini and they're younger than we are, and it's like, well, what am I doing with my life? I know we've been there, and it's so hard sometimes to not compare to that person who's seemingly doing so much better than you. And I know especially in the fitness space that I guess quote unquote I'm in by definition on YouTube, it's so easy to compare yourself to everyone else and then get lost on what's actually important to you. I am no stranger to this. I was that kid when I was 15 scrolling on Instagram and seeing all these shredded guys and all these bodybuilders, shredded six packs about to go on an effing bodybuilding stage and wondering why I don't look like that. It's like, of course it's an unrealistic expectation for a 15-year-old kid to look like a 28-year-old bodybuilder who's getting ready to go on stage. Obviously, I can just hear some of you being like, yes! So I'm breaking it down for you guys into 4 tips that I have found to help me immensely along being a YouTuber, getting into fitness, all the above. These 4 tips have the potential to allow you to keep your eyes on your own paper and stop looking at what everybody else has on theirs. So number 1, my friend, is gonna be measure the gain, not the gap. So what I mean by this is so much of the time, we all just measure where we're not, and we all compare ourselves to people who are way ahead of us. I say it all the time on the channel. It's like, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 12, and we inevitably do it. What I mean by measure the gain, not the gap, is don't measure the gap between where you are and where someone else is, but instead measure the gap between where you started and where you are now. Does that make sense? Like, tell me I'm clicking with you right now. This is going to keep you highly motivated, highly encouraged, and highly inspired to keep going, because let's be honest, where somebody else is completely irrelevant to where you are. Whether it's your fitness journey, whether it's your wealth, whether it's your relationship, I don't care what it is. The extent of another person's success is completely irrelevant to your potential success. Just because someone else is killing it doesn't mean that they're taking away from your potential to kill it as well. All right, number 2 is another amazing one, and this is gonna be a forever student. And what I mean by be a forever student is you have something to learn from everyone you come in contact with. I don't care if it's a homeless guy on the street, I don't care if it's your piece of shit professor that you didn't get along with in college, or if it's that person that was talking trash about you in high school. You've got something to learn from everyone. This is why when I think of like comparing to others nowadays, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like an unconscious thing for us, but it doesn't technically make all that much sense to me, because if I'm trying to create my best self, why would I not try to learn from that person instead of comparing myself to where they are? Guys, I just started surfing, so why would I compare how good I am at surfing to my buddy Grant, who's been surfing for like years ahead of me? If I just started a book and I'm on chapter 1 and somebody else has been reading and they're on like chapter 14, why would I compare my knowledge to them? They've read more of the book than me. They've been reading longer than me. And remember, other people have mastered things that you have not mastered yet in your life. So just because homeboy's got his fitness together and he might have a great physique and you don't, maybe he's struggling and flunking out of school, but you've got straight A's. You've both got something each other wants, but you're just so fixated on what he has that you don't see that. So you, my friend, have something to learn from every single person that you come in contact with, and just remember that. All right, everybody, and number 3 is gonna be leave your pride at the door. So a lot of you guys know I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, it was on Nickelodeon when like I'm 23. So when I was in like 4th grade or so, it was on Nickelodeon. There was a character in that show named Uncle Iroh. And my favorite quote from him of all time goes like this: "Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame." True humility and just being that like curious 8-year-old kid who's got nothing to prove, but he's just here to learn. That's what's gonna allow you to like actually become the best version of yourself, because you'll be able to draw wisdom from so many different places instead of being so fixed on one thing and being unwilling to understand anything else. So I urge you and encourage you to drop your pride and leave it outside of the door before you enter a conversation with somebody who's quote unquote doing better than you, or knows something that you don't know, or has accomplished something that you haven't accomplished. Put your pride down and learn from them, my friend, because success always leaves clues. Embrace humility, embrace being a student, and embrace never putting yourself above somebody else, because that is a surefire way to be a miserable person when you've always got something to prove. All right, number 4, by far my absolute favorite. If you're a real one on my channel, you guys have heard me talk about this before, and that is going to be cultivate your super self. So for all the newbies here, I'm gonna let you guys in on this. When I was in 7th grade, I drew a stick figure, okay? And I didn't really know what was going on, but I labeled him Super Jackson at the top. And I was like, okay, like if I see a stud, all right, why is that guy a stud? Like, I'm not talking he has a 6-pack, I'm talking everything about this guy. Like, why is that guy a stud? Now let me just be that guy. So I literally labeled the arms, the torso, the head, everything, and I labeled them all of the core attributes that I wanted in my life. So now I had something to shoot for, and I didn't know what I was doing when I was in 7th grade. I didn't know how important this would end up being in my life, but it's gone on to mean so much to me now because I know who I want to be, and it's so incredible when you can write it out and have something to like visually see right in front of you, and you're like, okay, if I was my ideal maxed out version of myself, my Super Jackson, this is what I would be. All of these core attributes. Call them your like 6 Infinity Stones if you're a Marvel fan. Call them whatever you want, but your Infinity Stones to be super you, or just every attribute that you would need in order to be fully in line with who you want to be. Because I think that we all have a person that we want to be. I just think that for most of us, we're just out of line with that person, and we have hope in tomorrow that we might become that person, but most of us usually don't. Because remember guys, every decision you make is just a vote towards the person that you are becoming. And while I do have faith in you, I want to set you up for success here. So I encourage you, draw out your super self. Draw out your 6 Infinity Stones. What makes you, you? Your ideal you. Maybe not you right now, but we're measuring the gain, not the gap. When you get to the point where you're like, wow, I just really like myself, why would you like yourself? All right, pick 5 things. Label the limbs, whatever you want to do, but draw your super self, because this was like one of the most transformative things that I ever did in my entire life, and I just owe it to you guys to share this activity with you because it could change the game. Put that son of a bitch right up on your mirror, put it on your fridge, put it as the background on your phone. I don't care what it is, but you're only in control of 2 things. That is your thoughts and your actions. So when you're considering what you're going to think about and what you're going to do, just ask yourself, would super you do this? So it is time for you to stop comparing yourself to everyone else and actually take the time to commit to yourself, because you deserve it. And the fact that you're on my channel consuming my content tells me that you want more out of life. And I respect you for that. So I'm definitely excited to have you here. If you're new, don't be afraid to subscribe down below and join a group of like-minded individuals who want to not only maybe lose some weight and achieve the body of their dreams, but they want to improve themselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all around. So you guys inspire me more than you know. And as always, I'm gonna leave you like I leave you every video. Let's keep getting better together, and let's keep on grinding. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.